If we take into consideration everything we know about Piranha Bytes and how they operate in general, we can try to make a pattern for their next game, which will without a doubt in my mind be Elex 2. If by any miracle they release the next Gothic game, I will upload a video where I jump around naked in my room. Not that I don't do that anyway, just without recording. Moving on, in my opinion, Elex has placed a really good foundation on how the world of Magellan functions. They don't need to reinvent the wheel for the sequel, and they probably won't, let's be honest here. But that doesn't mean that the game itself won't be a big improvement. They have a solid lore established that will just continue where the first game stopped. I'm not gonna spoil the ending, but if you finish the main quest, you know what I'm talking about. The game protagonist will be the same. We're gonna play as Jax again, like 99%. We can expect that the sequel will be on the same map. The terrain will probably somehow be slightly changed to fit the continuation of the story, but I think it's safe to say that it won't be changed dramatically. If anything, they will probably add some new areas to the existing map. Of course, we can't claim this for sure, but it would be logical to expect this. Let's just hope that the jump to the sequel won't be something like Reason 1 to Reason 2. You're wielding swords, staves and magic, and all of a sudden, bam, you're a freaking voodoo pirate and you have guns. Yeah, God, I hope not. Please, Piranha Bytes, don't do this. Back to the topic. Let's talk about gameplay. Everyone's favorite part of any Piranha Bytes game ever. If you watch some of my Elex videos, you probably know I never had problems with the core design of the gameplay. But truth be told, it needs a lot of improvement. In my opinion, the biggest problem with the gameplay is how poorly some of the attacks are animated, especially on some wildlife NPCs. When this is the case, the game can feel really unfair to the player, especially on higher difficulties. If you're making a game that will require the player to dodge or evade at the right time, you better make sure those attacks are well animated. The hitboxes are also a big problem. Maybe even bigger than animations. Just for example, the range on NPCs that use two-handed melee weapons is ridiculous. I could go on and on about the gameplay, but I'll stop there. Like I said, the core is there, it just needs improvement and polish. A lot of polish. I don't know much about coding, but I know for sure these things can be improved if they work on it, which they'll probably do if they don't decide to go with something completely different, like I already said. But what can we actually expect from the sequel if we take a look how Piranha Bytes did them in the past? The jump from Gothic to Gothic 2 was huge. Remember, Gothic 2 came out in 2002 and all of the NPCs were voiced. They had daily schedules like get up, work, hang out in the tavern at night, sleep, take a piss, smoke swamp weed, and so on and so on. Dude, 2002. Elder Scrolls didn't have this until 2006 when Oblivion came out. I want to see that kind of sequel and that kind of improvement. Gothic 1 was highly praised, but Gothic 2 was an improvement in every way possible. You're probably thinking now that was way back, how about the Gothic 3 and Reason series in general? And you're probably right. That's a big concern. I mentioned a couple of times that my favorite RPG ever is Gothic 3, but objectively looking, it was a mess when it came out, and we talked about this in my previous videos. And what about Reason? The first game was awesome and reminiscent of Gothic 1 and 2, then the god-awful sequel Reason 2 came out. Reason 3 did fix a lot of the problems, but in its core it was still a lot like Reason 2. If you are a Piranha Bytes fan or just an open world RPG fan in general and you hope for the best with Elex sequel, there is indeed a lot of reasons to be worried if you look back like this, but I'm a hopeless optimist in general and I always hope for the best. First Elex game is a big step to the right direction and it's hands down better than the whole Reason trilogy. First Reason is somewhere in between, but Elex is much more ambitious. I guess we just need to wait and see. See you in the next one.